Welcome to ECN Trade Daily Video. Before we begin, it should be noted that any advice is of a general nature only and that your personal circumstances have not been taken into consideration.
Hello everyone, my name is Rob Clayton and thank you very much for joining me. Well, yesterday the Australian dollar rebounded off the key support level of 68.60. With the low being 68.61, the market rebounded in the European session after reports that Washington has agreed to stick with a deal with Beijing to cancel planned import tariffs, but in stages. For most of this year, US and Chinese officials have been trying to strike a deal to the end, or at least pause the 20-month trade war. What it would seem now that we are one step closer after Chinese Commerce Ministry spokesman on Thursday said negotiators for both sides had agreed to remove some tariffs in phases, rising hopes President Trump and President Xi would be able to sign an agreement later this year, which is only 1.5 months away. Although, quite surprisingly, is the fact that after the announcement, President Trump didn't actually respond to his usual manner of tweeting, which is rather odd. Neither the White House nor the US trade representatives issued a public response to China statement, and there were conflicting reports from within the Trump administration as to whether there was a firm commitment to reduce these tariffs. Nevertheless, when we look to the technical outlook, you can see that we've had at least 4 stabs at this level of 69.25 to 35, and it is still holding as a strong resistance. I do believe, though, we should see another test to the downside as the technicals are still going in terms of a bearish sentiment. And therefore, once we get the break of 68.60, then I'm looking down towards 67.70. Overnight, the euro pushes further on the support and now takes out the level of 110.65, which has exposed the region of 110.15, maybe even down towards the region of 109.50. Any advances should find resistance at 111.25. Dollar yen, after getting the news of the situation in overnight that the US and China agreed to cancel tariffs, is that the risk to safe haven has come off somewhat on the yen, and the market has rallied back to the level of 109.20. Not completely broken it, but actually is still pressuring this level. Although I'm not overly bullish at these levels, I'd rather sit out and wait for around 109.70 or 50.70 if we can get there, as I would like to shorten the market because I feel we will eventually break down again, considering these indicators aren't as strong, and this looks more like to me like a blow-off top. The pound weakened further overnight after a surprise from the Bank of England's rate decision. Although kept rates as widely expected on hold, is that 2 members voted against the neutral stance and actually turned dovish. So the vote ended at 7-2 in favour of keeping rates unchanged, but the 2 mentioned, Saunders and Haskell, voted for a 25 basis cut. So it has put a bit of pressure on the pound. Now the trigger level seen at 127.85, if broken, exposes the region of 126 down to 125 or 124. Gold overnight hits a 3-month low after China and US trade. After the fact is that they've pulled out of the so-called tariffs, and phase 1 looks like it's in line to continue on, but we need more confirmation, of course. Gold plummeted to a low of 60 last night. That was the base from the previous level, as you can see here. But from the rejection, we're not quite out of the danger zone. Now, if we go through 60, I'm neutral. But if we do continue the bounce from there and get a break above 76, then I do expect to see further rise up to 80 to 90. The market has been very heavy over the last few weeks and now posting a 3-month low. I do expect to see a rebound. And finishing up with oil on the market after 4 attempts, stabbed at this level 57.55 and failed. I'm not bearish, but I do expect to see a pullback to at least $55 to $54 a barrel, and then expect to see a recovery, maybe taking out $57.55 and look up towards $58 to $60 a barrel as a target. Well, that wraps up for today. Thank you very much for joining me. As always, look out for the intraday poll and hope you enjoy the great start to this day and the great start to the new weekend.